Welcome back to the Street Shaman podcast. I am your host, Shamanic Poe, aka Poe and the Rockstar, and today I'm here with a fellow Street Shaman, UG Rose. How you doing, my girl? How you doing?
I'm good, bro. How are you? How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. So, what you been up to? I know you moved to Jersey. Last time I talked to you, you were saying how you just moved to Jersey and
Yeah,
everything was good.
yeah.
So what's been going on?
Um, Nothing much. Like just getting used to the area that I'm in now because I don't live like exactly around where I used to live. I was further south, so now I'm further north, closer, like right across the way from New York. So a good enough distance away that I don't have to deal with with the New York shits. So I'm good.
Hmm. Right. So, what part of Jersey City? Do you know your parts of Jersey City yet, or not?
Not really. From what all I know is that I'm near I'm in the Journal Square ish area.
Okay, so you're more in Journal Square-ish area. All right, that's cool.
Yes.
Yeah, people just say Journal Square, like, oh, you live in by Journal Square.
Yeah. Yep.
So before you were living, I want to say you said more south, so I would assume that that's fuck.
That's like
You-
Middlesex County.
Oh, you was in Middlesex County?
Yeah, Middlesex County,
Oh.
Middlesex Township. Yep.
Oh yeah, that's too damn far, girl.
Yeah.
That's too way too far. That's a whole other type of train you gotta take.
Yeah, you got to get on the NJ Transit, and like you know where like Bound Brook and Piscataway and Plainfield
Hmm.
is. Yeah, that was where I was. So
Okay. And you ain't like that area, huh?
it's not that I didn't like it. It was nice, but it's like it was dang, how you say like it felt isolated. Like when there are so few people in that area and like the town is like a blip. If you blink, you'll drive right through it like, "Oh, that was the town?" You totally missed it. So, yeah,
Right.
it was a little isolating and things tend to get a little less melanated in those parts. So, going to
Ah,
school in those areas was very different,
it
but
felt
yeah,
weird. It felt weird.
a little,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Yeah. I definitely lived a lot of different places, and some places I just had to adjust. I had to know that I am the odd man out here. And I just gotta,
Yeah.
you gotta
Yep.
adjust. You gotta adjust because if not, like you're just gonna be a target all the time. All
Yes,
the
and
fucking time.
I didn't know that. Like I don't know your experience. Are you still experiencing that now where you are? Like, or have you been
Um,
there long enough that you're cool?
nah, I told my girl she's in here too, but I told my girl the one thing that I noticed coming here as opposed to even I'm in Illinois. I was
Hmm.
in Illinois before I moved here,
Okay.
but I was in a nicer area. It was
Okay.
called Cherry Valley. So like I would walk down the block and people would be like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Hey, what's up?"
Oh, yeah.
You know, and everybody wanted to say hi. Over here, like I remember like the first day coming over here and being nice to people, and then people just looking like, and I'm like, oh
Mm.
yeah. That's what
Yeah.
happens when you get closer to a city. Because right here we're 40 minutes from Chicago, so you know what I
It's
mean. You can notice that shit.
yes, yeah. That's pretty much how it was. Like being more south, more further into central Jersey. When you did start to get to the urban areas, if you try to do that whole "oh, good morning" or "how are you," people look at you. The city attitude comes back online when you get to the urban centers or anywhere that you go. I feel like
Right,
so. Yeah.
right. Absolutely. Yeah, I got to figure out how my camera is gonna stop trying to refocus my lighting. Like I'm brown. Figure it out. Get it together. Make sure people can see me.
Right.
Nah. So, so anyway, so now you in Jersey, uh, Jersey City, right? So you're in Jersey
Hmm.
City now. How's the work situation for you? I want to say that you're free now. You ain't got that much time. What's going on?
I for right now, I'm free, but I'm like trying to just keep myself occupied, doing stuff that I hadn't done otherwise. I found a book of old stuff that I wrote, so like I actually like I've started writing and posting some stuff on my other like little obscure writing page because it's weird shit, but it's cool. 'Cause that's just what I was doing. But it was nice to it's nice kind of to be still for a little bit right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can see you happy already. Like you went on YouTube and it was like she does not have a job at the moment and she's actually happier than when she had a job. It's a, it's a conundrum that we all face. Like, all right, you don't get a job. I mean, after a while, if you still don't got a job, you're gonna be like, damn, I'm hurting. This is fucked up. You're gonna start getting bitter. But like that, soon as you get away from that job, for whatever reason it might be, you're like, yes, I don't give a fuck. Let me chill. Sick of the grind.
Facts. Yes, yes. It feels that way for like thankfully I had stuff saved because I try to do that anytime that I start somewhere new. So
Right,
like I'm not in panic mode. So
right,
I'm comfortable. I have time to actually like find something that I'm actually like I'm comfortable with that I really want to do that I don't just do well, but I actually like, I feel like I have a competence in or build my competence, like take training or something if I can. But um, yeah, like just not doing anything haphazardly. It feels different when you're hi. It feels different, yeah, when you're not like grasping at straws and you're not desperate. I gotta find something. I gotta do something. I gotta grind. I need my money. Like you just don't feel that pressure anymore.
right. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, what is it that you're trying to do? What are you looking for right now in a job?
Um, Stuff that like I my whole looking at when I looked at my resume, a lot of the things that I did was all like uh public service, customer service, human resources, all the stuff that was like behind the scenes or like behind a phone line where I could help people, assist people, answering, responding to people's emails and helping them. I did have a little stint when I was working with reporting to the FDA. That was weird getting people tell you that they used the product on their nether regions that shouldn't have been used on their nether regions and now their nether regions are tingly or don't work. I'm like, that's off label. Thank you for letting me know. I'm gonna forward. I'm gonna triage your incident to a nurse.
Oh shit! So you would, yeah, I can see how that's draining. You're like, all right, I gotta hear about everybody's problem. Like, hey man, my shit is not working good no more. What's up with this shit you gave us? Like, hold up. I just work here. I ain't make this. I
Yo,
ain't give you nothing. I ain't give you nothing.
it's so bad because like the company that I work for, they one of the products that they manufacture is a sexual wellness, it's a condom,
Mhm.
and then they also like there's depilatory creams to like get the hair off your body, and they're like trying to get their things ready for a bathing suit or a mankini or whatever they do it. Can I use this on my balls? No, don't do. What are you doing? And they're like, it tingles. Is it supposed to tingle? How long to before it goes away? I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have a
Mhm.
medical professional talk to you because I am not one. That was the line that gets worn out. We're not medical professionals here. Well, then what are your number on the product for? To tell people like you to not use that way. But get it how you live it. Do what you want to do. Very
Terrible.
interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, that's the type of job I definitely wouldn't even apply for. Be like, doing what? I gotta tell them about what? Nah, we not doing that. I'm not doing it.
It's so
I'm
funny.
not
It
doing
was
it.
it was very it was really funny though. There were some times where when we got off the phone, it was like, "Yo, my guy, let me tell you what." Go, I just go. I got some wild shit to tell you.
My God. My God.
Very
Oh
interesting.
shit, man. So recently, let's just jump a topic here.
Yeah.
Recently, Drake just dropped an album, house album, and Beyonce dropped a house single,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And considering the times that we're in where everybody wants to listen to violent ass music, I just killed this guy over there on that block right there. That was me. I did it. Like that type of music.
Right.
I felt like, even though I don't listen to Drake on a day-to-day basis, but I felt like it was refreshing to for somebody to do something new, and knowing the algorithms. If the people at top, they don't do nothing new, then everything's gonna stay as status quo right now. That's how everything's
Exactly.
working right now. There's no
Right.
like, oh look, he just did something new and it blew up and he's nobody that you didn't know. Like, that's
Yeah.
not, that doesn't work. How do you feel about that changing of music right now?
I think it's overdue. Like we need it. And part of what I was talking about the last video that, I went off on a tangent on, I was talking about, the fact that I found myself wanting to listen to other genres of music because I just was tired of hearing, like you said, just caught a body a week ago. I'm slinging drugs out my mama's house, like all that. I'm like,
Right.
I don't want to hear that all the time, and I get it. Like there's times where you want to be trapped in your head. I get it. I've done it. I have a couple of, some trap music in my workout playlist. That's what's up.
Right. Right. Right.
But every now and again, you want something that makes you, that like helps you, that reminds you that life isn't all about hustling. Life isn't like concentrated in flashiness, and like just get up and dance. Don't worry about who the
Right.
hell is looking at you. Don't worry about whatever brand you got on your ass while you post it up at the bar, or and not enjoying yourself. Like just get up and have a good time. So hopefully that's a trend that does trickle down to other artists, and they catch the hint, like, all right, let me switch it up. It would be appreciated. I definitely can say, as a music lover, would definitely be appreciated. How do you like, because
Right.
you experiment with a lot of the sound that you put into your music, like that's what
Right.
kind of helps you. Does that help you stay like creative and motivate you to do more stuff?
Yeah, I think I am a weirdo in that sense, because I know a lot of people, when it comes to their music, they can just shell out the same fucking song 400 times.
Yeah, yeah,
And as from the outsider looking in, because I'm not in their creative process, I'm like, dog, that looks exhausting. That looks like some shit I don't want to do. I definitely don't want to come with the same message every fucking time, or
yes,
like the same style, the same beat. You just the same. It sounds like the same song you just did on track two. Now
yes,
track three is the same. I definitely don't want that for me. So
yes.
I'm weird in that aspect. Like, I am the type person that's like, all right, we're gonna, for this project, I'm gonna do all these type of songs. Like Thick in the Head was like all these mental illness type of songs, and then Audio Sage was completely different. And even in Audio Sage, it's like, that's when I'm like, well, I'm producing this shit myself. I'm just gonna go and do every track different.
Yeah, yes, yes, and that's what I said when I, from hearing their transition from that to like from Sick in the Head to Audio Sage, and um oh goodness gracious, I'm mixing. I don't want to quote the wrong song, but
What?
what
Godhead?
not yeah, now that you're in Godhead, like the energy, the feel of the albums, like you feel the change in every album,
Right,
so it actually
right, right,
feels worth buying the album, because it's not the same thing. It's like what used to make us want to buy tapes and CDs back in the day. We knew that we were
right,
going to get the same artist but a different sound for the most part
right.
every time that we got something.
Right, right. Yeah, and I mean, I look up to artists that do that shit. That is like, yeah, you heard all that shit. Yeah, all of that worked last album, and we could probably phone it in and do the same shit again and get the bag. But fuck that shit. We're gonna just come. We're gonna go in this direction, and we're just gonna try something completely new. And whether we fall on our face, or whether you
Or
don't
it
fuck with it,
pops.
you can't, or it pops, it is what it is.
Yes, yes,
You know.
and that makes music like a feel good experience. Like where you could, no matter where you fall on an album, you just hit play and let it go, and you know that you're at least you're rocking with it. I appreciate that about music. So I appreciate that
Yeah.
about your music, and that's what makes me want to support artists and not listen to the same old shit all the time. It's boring.
Right, right. I feel like it's boring. I don't see how somebody could be like, yeah, a new song of the same shit. Yeah, like I don't see how you could be so enthusiastic about some shit that you already heard. Like,
Right, right. Well, but that does that kind of then show like how much artists are kind of like in their own space, like they're not really creating for the sake of what they want to do. They're solely creating for what's gonna be popular, and also all the same formula. Like, all right, I'm
right,
done. We don't want to hear that shit no more.
right, right. I mean, I see it. I see how it's successful. Like even in gaming, there's a bunch of the different companies that make the same type of shooter game. It's like Call of Duty game. There's like 100 of those games. There's mad different companies doing the same type of game all the time. They look the same. It's
Yep.
like you can't even tell one from the other unless you really fucking played it. I don't got time for that shit, man. We out here to be creative. Let's be creative. Let's have fun with it. I need some time be in between albums and projects to do something new. I need to
Yes.
sit, think, let it marinate. Whereas most of these people that are signed, they're like go to studio every day, doing two, three songs every day, two, three songs every day. It's like, so where's the time for the breather and to
Yeah.
actually be like, what am I doing here? Let me try to, like
Yes.
the bands that we fuck with, they would take 2 years to drop the next album.
Yes. Yeah. I was saying that the other day. I don't remember who I was listening to. I like, randomly dropped into a live, and it was I started thinking about Sade, and Sade. Well, Ellen, because she don't like being called Sade because the whole band, but they have a formula. They dropped the album once a decade, so everybody was gonna run and get that album because Sade was fire, and you knew it was gonna be something great. It was gonna give you that same vibe, like the a signature sound, but with like new creative energy flowing into it. So you
Right,
wanted
right.
to hear it all, you wanted to buy it because it's literally a decade piece every time they drop. That was cool.
Right, right. Yeah, I feel like that's the way it should be. Especially now, like with all this violent music that they just push into the forefront. The violent music got people more violent out on the street. I don't know if y'all know this, but people are doing wild bullshit in the street because all they're listening to is wild bullshit in their ears.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
women the women are a lot of these women are listening to hip hop and they're listening to Meg the Stallion and they're listening to they're listening to the City Girls and they're on their hot girl summer and they want to get the bag and they don't care about the dudes and it's all this shit sounds like hurt people hurting people.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because a comedian that I watch, she was like, I think that we need to stop listening to the female delegation in hip hop music because while they sit here talking about real you're like, okay, but you got a man though.
Right,
Like, you're
right,
happy though, y'all married, you got boyfriends or significant somebodies in your life, and you out here talking about, yes, hot girl summer, I'll get the bag and I'm out and yada, yada. That's wonderful. But the infantry is starting to be like, but you said you ain't give a damn about a guy and you got a guy. Which
right.
one is it?
Right, right, right. I mean, it's like Beyonce was single lady. Oh, the single ladies.
with
Oh,
a
the single.
with a
And
ring
Jay
on
was right there.
her finger.
Jay was right there. Like, what single? What? What you talking about? Oh, the single ladies. It's like he right there. He notices. He like, yeah, go ahead. I know what y'all doing.
Yes, yo, by the end of it, I'm like, the song is hella contradictory because yes, the dance moves was fire. Don't get me wrong, I love that damn video. But
Right, right.
but
Fire
when
video.
she yeah, but when she pulled, showed her hand and got a big old rock on her finger, like I feel like I've been lied to. I don't appreciate this message. This is very contradictory. How you
Yeah.
singing all the single lady, but you engaged? Bitch, sit down.
Right, right. It's
No,
just,
B.
it's like you're. It's kind of sad because what they're doing is just selling poison.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, just straight up selling poison.
Yes.
Like I know from when I was a kid, we were listening to DMX when I was a kid, like 10, 11 years old. And we were trying to rob motherfuckers. We were looking around like who can we punch in the face for Pokemon cards and shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
don't get it twisted. Pokemon cards were worth something. You could take that to the card shop. Back in the day, there was a card shop,
And
take it to the
flip
card
that.
shop, get the $50, $60 straight up.
Yes,
But
yes.
the fact that we were 11, 10, 11, 12, running around trying to do that shit,
With
and
that
then to think,
mindset.
and then to think back, like, what were we listening to that was making you want to do that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And
But I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was saying that, and but the thing is, that's the thing. But that's so it's so heavily played. Like they like it's, and then we have radios branding that like this is the music of the streets. So again, we from the Bronx, so we know what the DJs was all spinning. We know all the adults was playing. So like, where could we get away from that? Without hearing, oh, well, if you listen to anything else, or what you listening to, well, that's corny. Like you couldn't even listen to something else. And when I started listening to rock music, it was a cousin of mine and me listening to like Z100 and K Rock in like the bathroom at my grandma's house.
Right. Everybody like, what are you listening to? You listen that. I mean, that's how I got my name, Potent the Rock Star, was because I was potent. I was young potent. That's it. I
Yeah.
was young potent. But I would come to the studio with my shit, with listening to rock. So they were like, "Oh, that's Rockstar." They would try to make it a joke, like, "Oh, Rockstar, stay coming in with rock music, even though he rap." So I was like, you know what? Let me take this shit and let me make it one. But
Yes.
that's what it was. It came out of people trying to joke on me because I was listening to rock. I'm like, I'm tired of listening. I make that type of music. At that time, I was rapping street shit and everything. I was like, I make that type of music. Why would I want to hear another man make that type of music when you're already making it?
Exactly. Like it becomes redundant. So like it took that much. Like it took you actually being resilient. Like, oh, you gonna try to play me? Yeah. You know what? Guess what? I'm damn proud that I listen to rock music, and the shit that I drop is fire now.
Right,
Because you listening to
right,
me, right?
right. So it's just, a lot of people nowadays, they like to say like, oh yeah, you can find anything you want. But yeah, that's if you're looking.
Right.
You know, you said Z100 and shit like that. Like those spots were actually out there that you could hear new shit.
Mm-hmm.
They got some of that still on the radio, but radio is not what people are rocking nowadays. People are rocking with playlists.
Yes.
So
Yep.
unless you just feel like today I'm gonna wake up and decide that I'm gonna listen to house music and I'm gonna go into the house playlist on Spotify and just rock out and see what they're rocking with, you're not gonna come across it.
Yeah.
You simply just not gonna come across it.
Unless like especially like, because I know that you said your mom threw parties, so like you had like the exposure to other types of music, whether it was our ethnic music. So if you were listening to salsa, bachata, I'm listening to soca and reggae. Like our parents thankfully gave us like something that made us curious about how other types of music sound. But now, like the adults listening to what the kids listening to. So, what are they? What difference are they
Right,
experiencing?
right. Like when I like growing up, I had my mom. My mom was listening to um, she was listening to Mark Anthony. That's like her favorite fucking artist is Mark Anthony. So I knew like all of Mark Anthony shits, all
Mhm.
of them salsas and the fucking the ballads and shit. I
Yes,
knew all them shits. She also was listening to freestyle music. So it was a
yes,
lot of
yeah.
freestyle shit,
And house, yeah,
and house and shit like that. So even though she listened to rap and R&B, she loved Janet Jackson, shit like that. So it was a lot of different things that I was already listening to growing up.
yeah.
These kids, they're listening to the same shit. Like my mom likes the same song I like. Oh, it's like, is that cool? I don't know if that's cool.
Is that a sign that we're progressing as a culture? Or are we going a little backward? Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right. Because if you're gonna be sitting there listening to the same bullshit, like I haven't been to a bar. I mean, I've been in bars, but not clubs in a long time. But what I'm hearing from the clubs is that these girls in the clubs, like with the gun hands, like they out there shooting it up too in the song. Like,
They're like, come outside, ho, come outside. Like, hey, yo, what are y'all doing? We don't, again, you don't got to do this. And it's
right,
like, it's bad enough that like, you have that happening. But then, like, if you're only going to certain venue, they said, because we had the club, but there were other things. I feel like 80s kids had, like, I had roller skating rink. So that was already
Mhm.
like a house spot. Everything that people skate to is mostly house music, or a
Mhm.
DJ that knows how to strategically spin hip hop. But if you can, but you have to keep the vibe up. So you can't be playing that shoot 'em up, hit 'em up type music in a skating rink either. So there was
Right.
all these different places that we could go to be exposed to different stuff. But
Right.
that's been kind of like flat. And that's why I put that clip on my page from like back in the day, say the earth is round, but everything on it is flat, because that whole like, this is what's popular. That's it. This one thing has flattened everything. It's making things corny.
Mhm. And the only way we're gonna get out of that shit is if people are willing to be more creative.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the reason why I'm kind of happy for the Drake and the Beyonce shit. Like, I'm not gonna listen to that Drake album, like not even a little bit, because I heard it
Mm-hmm.
day one. I went to go check it out. I listened to everything day one. And so, oh, so that came out. Let me go run this through. Let me see
Yeah.
what they're working with. And it's kind of dry, you know. It's still Drake. Like, he's still crying. Like, house music is like, you know, you
Yeah,
bounce in and
Bob.
you on some good shit. He's still on some soft shit. He's still on some like, oh, this girl don't like me, and I don't, you know, I don't trust these girls and shit like that. It's like, which is a sentiment of most a lot of men right now. A lot of men are feeling real butthurt. All the girls are thoughts. All the girls cannot be trusted.
Yes.
And to me, it's like, who are you guys talking to? Who are you trying to pursue? Instagram models and OnlyFans chicks? Like, why do you continue? Like, remember I put it on your video, the
Yes.
shit that you did a couple days ago or something. It was like, yeah, me and my brother got in an argument for like 2 hours long
Yeah.
on the DMs. Meanwhile, I'm at work still, but I'm going DMs like
Back and forth.
back and forth. And he was not listening to nothing I had to say. He was just talking through me. He was like, yeah, but these girls are hoes. All these girls are hoes. I'm like, no, you got to get out of that little hip hop bubble that you're in. What bubble? It's the whole world's hip hop now. And it's like,
But see, but he just said something right there though, because like you said, like we was talking about, if hip hop is being pushed everywhere, and so many people are starting to talk about it now, that unfortunately, like people who critique culture, everybody's a freaking critic now, are saying that hip hop music sells trauma, like all the heartbreak, all the heartache, all the whatever, all the hard times is like the bill. It's like the billboard for trauma. So yeah, like so that the fact that's like permeating other cultures, that's what someone who's a hip hop head could say about the world, is like, yo, turn off that music, go outside and be around people who listen to something else, because it's gonna lock you in that. You get trapped. It's a trap.
yeah, especially the algorithm. The algorithm is just to try to keep you in a bubble. So that's why I do my best, and it's to my own detriment, really. Like, as far as like my profession or how I'm trying to do shit creatively, or not creatively, but professionally,
Yeah.
business wise. I do my best to be everywhere with it. Like, I'm into this, I'm into that, I'm into this, I'm into that. But a lot of rappers will be into a bunch of shit, but they don't mention nothing. All they mention is the rap street level. That's all they want to talk about,
Yes. And it wasn't
because
that
they're
way.
like, this is gonna elevate me. Whereas the reason why I got into to rock, and I was actually convinced into getting into rock, was because of rappers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kanye and Jay-Z were the reason that I got into rock. Like, that's I started with Coldplay, and I started with soft rock. I started with John Mayer. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then I went from there, and I started finding more shit.
Yes, yes, we've gone back and forth a few times with the shit that we listen to. We started listening, yes, to Death Cab for Cutie, Led Zeppelin, AC/DC. Like, yeah, you start like branching out, and you're like, oh, this joint slaps, yeah.
Right, right, right.
Yes,
And
yes,
I feel like a lot of people are just stuck in a bubble, and a lot of people just are not. They're not strong enough to stand on their own too. You know, it's not like, oh, yo, I listen to this shit and I fuck with that shit, because they know the criticism, they know the slander. Like, oh, you listen to that shit, get out of here. So they don't want to really be like, yo, yeah, I listen to this and I listen to that, and I fuck with that. That shit hard. Check this out. They'd
Yes.
rather be like, check out this shit, and they're like, yeah, I already heard that, but yeah, that one's hard because it's some toxic shit. I was just
Yes.
talking to my girls, like people who have people are scared to show songs about love because other people will judge them. If it's about love, they go, that's get that gay shit
Wow.
out of here.
Yeah. It's
It's
horrible.
about love. It's about love. It said love the whole world. This song's about like I remember I sent you some shit. I was like, I'm drunk enough to send this shit to everybody, and I sent it to you, Pierre, and Richard, and I'm like, and the song was called "Love Is the Answer" from Jason Mraz, one of my favorite
Yeah.
songs. I almost cry almost every fucking time when I'm hearing that song by myself, or even with my girl here. I'm like, oh,
It's a
motherfuckers, that got me
it's a
choked
good
up.
song. It's a freaking great song. When I was little, I think I remember like I think this is when I realized like I'm too freaking sensitive. I'm a very delicate little child because I heard what is that the movie Stand By Me has the song Stand By Me in it. And when I actually just like sat
Mm-hmm.
alone and listened to that song, I found
Mm-hmm.
myself crying. I'm like, why do I feel this way? But
Ooh,
it's a real
that one
song.
that one fucks me up every time too. Like as soon as it's stand by me, I'm like, ooh, that
I'll
ooh,
be oh sad. Yes, like you like
I'm by me.
yeah,
I'm
come
like,
on, pop.
God damn it, stop,
Yeah.
stop. That shit hitting. But a lot of people are afraid. I think they just butthurt. I think they're like, they're traumatized like all of us. We've been through a bunch of trauma,
Yes.
and they just haven't been around the right groups, the right people to actually get a little bit of that love in them to
Right.
love again. They're
Yeah.
afraid to love again. So it's easy to hate. It's cool to be like, fuck that shit, fuck that. But is there any way to live? Is there any way to live? Because I'll tell you this right now. Me with having the love in my heart, I cry for all of you motherfuckers that be out here butthurt and hating and mad all day. Cause I be having a good fucking time in my life.
It's
I
gotta
ain't got
be
all
a
the money in the
beautiful.
world,
Yes.
but I still be chilling.
Thank you. Yes. And that's the point. Like, okay, yes, some people can be shitty. Some select groups can be, difficult to deal with. But I feel like Cat Williams, like you banging on breakfast, bro. You just got up. What is wrong with you? Calm down. The day just started. Why are you angry?
Right, right. Let's get into another topic because
We can
we
talk about this
already
all day.
we could talk about that forever, and we ain't got all the time in the world. But let's talk about that Roe v. Wade being overturned. How
Whew.
do you feel about that right there?
I it feels weird because like okay, like we have a culture. We've been up to this point in history. Everybody's like, all right, well, it's your body. You do what you will with your body, and it's your business. But then with the Rona, when the Rona came out, it was like, all right, well, no, the government's telling you that you better do with your body what we tell you to do with your body, and everybody's like, wait, how? But again, but you said, but that wasn't the case a while ago. How are we switching it up now? And now again, we have such a situation like this where women have been, I guess, somewhat having like to socially fend for ourselves for a while, and the trend has gotten like more and more militant over the years. And so now it's like, okay, well, I should be able to lay down with who I want, do what I want. Nobody tells me about my business. And I understand the sentiments. I do, because there are instances where, as someone who's experienced it, someone puts their hands on you when they don't have the right to. Um,
Right.
and you want to be able to know that if something were to occur in that sense, that you don't have to go the lengths of having, going through a process your body's not ready for, your mind's not ready for, your emotions aren't ready for. However,
Mhm.
if you out here busting it open the indiscriminately, you gonna have to be safe now. You gonna have to protect your neck now because
Right,
you don't
right,
have
right,
that backup no more. That's all I can
right,
say. My beliefs aside, you just gonna have to be careful in these streets.
right, right. Cause it's like for me, like I ain't a girl, but I even think like some of these guys are cheering this shit on. Yeah, you women, you hoes, you're gonna have to protect yourself now. You fucking like motherfucker, this shit got something to do with you too. Like
Yes.
if the girl has a kid, you gotta pay child support for
This is what I'm
18
talking
years.
about. This is what I'm
What
talking
you
about.
talking?
Yes.
Go ahead, go
That
ahead.
right there. No, that right there. You were saying it. Yes, like everybody's like, ha ha, this is what you get. Okay, are you gonna be wrapping it up now more? Because this involves you too. Are you gonna start being celibate unless you're in an emotionally secure and thriving relationship? Are you gonna stay for the probably not. So I hope you got the bread, my guy, because it's about to be wild out here. If someone
Right,
can get you from the day of inception going for, go ahead. Play around if you want to. Go ahead.
right, right. Because it's like, and I'm speaking from a person like I'm me. I've lived 35 years, and I didn't get nobody pregnant. Now I
See?
don't know if there's something wrong with me, but I've been very careful, very cautious. That's how I live. I'm a very cautious person. I'm a precaution before like you have to fix some shit later. Like let's try to, you know what I mean? For most of my life, anyway, I've done bullshit like everyone else. But
Yes.
when it comes to that, I'm like, I'm not ready to bring a kid. I don't want to bring a kid unless I feel like I'm ready, and it's financially ready, it's emotionally ready. And if you're just gonna let it willy nilly let all these different people have kids when they're not ready, you're saying you're pro life, but you're bringing in a child to
A
you know
world that's crazy.
a detrimental life. You
Yeah.
know, if a woman has to have the kid and she can't do the abortion, she can't go across state lines, or she can't do whatever she needs to do to prevent this shit. Now the woman is liable, not necessarily meaning that it should be that way, but she's liable to resent the kid. Now
Yeah.
the kid's gonna be growing up traumatized. I know what it's like to be growing up traumatized.
Yes.
So from being in that perspective, I know if you're gonna raise a kid that's gonna be traumatized, you're fucking up a life. The kid is gonna have a life, he's gonna live, but how much does he want to live?
The
That's
quality of it.
the quality of his life. Like how many kids out here are cutting themselves? How
That
many
part.
kids are out
That
here
part.
are just doing all these types of drugs? You think a lot of it is just for funsies?
Yeah, none
It's
of it.
not just for funsies.
Not. It's
People
not.
out here really doing damage to themselves and they really want to die, but they're scared to really do it all the way. So they're just trying to nudge themselves in that direction. And it's because of their quality of life.
Yes. Yes. Facts. Like
So if you're going to just push that shit onto people, you're going to open up a whole new can of worms.
and that's and I, there's you said it perfectly because there's not really much more that I can say to that when you're born into a situation where and again I sorry to harp on like the anime suggestion, but like when you resenting the person that you have a child with, it's a constant blowback on the child, whether it takes mature parents to say, look, in spite of what happened between us, we're going to make sure that this little one is okay. There are not the populace is not, unfortunately, not chock full of people who have the maturity to be able to separate the what someone deserves from what they experienced. So okay, I didn't experience what I wanted. I didn't experience what I projected onto this relationship and what I should have gotten out of it. So now, in the absence of that, I'm just angry at the world. That's not fair to a child. A lot of us had to live and, live with parents who went back and forth arguing, over us. And we're like, we don't even understand what's going on. So
Right.
we know, so we've experienced it firsthand. And so while I understand where as women, we're like, hey, you kind of can't tell us that, like intercede in our affairs that way. But at the same time, I don't even think maybe this shouldn't or doesn't even need to be a thing. If as women, we just look at it as, you know what, well, then there's going to be a whole lot of guys who just ain't getting none then because I'm not having a child with just
Right.
anybody. I'm not even angry about it. Like, I don't get, and
Right.
maybe for women who are a little bit more, intimately active, they feel like, oh well, I should have the right. But it's like, okay, well, no, like it just changes. It changes the scope of who I even interact with.
Right.
The first time I became a mother, I'm like, I'm not going to put myself in a position to have another child until like I actually genuinely and authentically like the man who I am going to bring life into this world for, potentially.
Right.
If them buttons ain't ticked for us to really like we rock with each other, we don't got to do it. Let's not even do it. So,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
And a lot of people don't even have the mental wherewithal to actually uh, decide or know what they're dealing with. That's why all these guys are like, all these girls are hoes. But it's like, who are you following? Who are you out there
but you
trying to
sleeping with
pursue?
them, no. You sleeping with them, no. we
Right.
so who's the hoe? You a hoe, mad at hoes. Make it
Right.
make sense because the math ain't mathing for me.
Right. Right. And that's the problem. We continue to like bump our head against the wall. If we want kids to be born and we want to promote more childbirth and shit like that, then we need to make sure that everybody feels good. Not
Yes,
just say, do you feel safe? Are you feeling safe? No, it's do you feel comfortable enough to do this? Is the money coming in for everybody to be able to do this shit?
right.
Is the schools teaching people? Are the parents being taught the shit that they didn't learn when they were kids, so that way they can get up to speed, so that way they can have the kid and feel confident in raising the kid properly?
Right. I wonder. It makes me wonder, and you let me know how you feel about this. If we have to be a certain age to drink. We have to be a certain age before we could drive. A certain age before we could legally smoke, and get licenses in certain instances to do these things. Shouldn't there be some level of like competency you have to show in like problem solving skills, collaborative abilities, emotional literacy before you're able to have a child? You even got to get a license to get married. So should there? What do you think it'd be different if we had to get a license to have children?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we should definitely be able to pass some type of emotional literacy, emotional intelligence course or some shit.
Yeah.
Because like even like I learned that shit in college,
Mhm.
emotional intelligence, and everybody was like, "Oh, what the fuck is this? This is bullshit. I don't even want to take this class." But they made everybody take it.
Yeah.
I found that shit to be one of the best classes that I was in. I felt like this is actually what we need. I was there like, oh, I want to make sure I'm good on this shit as
Right.
best as possible at the time. But a lot of people don't feel like it's a necessity because they don't know any better. We should be teaching kids emotional intelligence throughout,
Right.
from figure out how to fucking teach kindergartners this shit and first grade, you know what I mean, and so on and so forth. Like we should be able to do that shit in a capacity where everybody is a little bit more well-rounded, because that's the reason why people can listen to like negative ass rap and then feel like that's the life I want to live. I'm gonna go out there and do some bullshit.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Period.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's like you don't even understand. They don't even understand the can of worms they're opening up. And did you see that clip with Donald Trump where the lady was like, "This is for white lives." She was cheering. This is for white lives.
What?
Do you understand? A lot of them abortions that coming from white people are gonna end up being brown and black kids coming out of that. Do you understand? This is a lot of like, I fuck the gardener shit that they hiding and shit.
Okay, that part. That's right. If you want to, you gonna have a whole lot of explaining to do, Lucy. Okay. It's about to be a zoo out here. It's already wild. It's about to get so much worse. I'm sorry. I'm really, honestly, I'm a little afraid because there have been instances of women who, when they tell someone, "Hey, I'm expecting for you," they've had their lives taken. And so that's something else that like I'm concerned about everybody. If you go into certain online spaces, they're talking about the fact that femicide is happening. The demographics of femicide are higher in certain ethnicities, and yeah, it's frightening to worry about like how much that might escalate if a woman finds herself expecting for a guy who's just like mentally not there.
Yeah, yeah, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. Did you see? Actually, I saw a viral video right before I got on this shit. I wrote it down so I know. This girl, she had 4 kids. One of the dudes is being a father, so he come into the house and he want to bring his kid McDonald's, even though I don't think he should be bringing him McDonald's. But he bought his kid, I guess, a little, some chicken nuggets or some shit, some pink slime nuggets, but only for his kid. But she got 3 more joints. So she's mad, and everybody can look this up. It's going viral now. So on TikTok, she went and I'm gonna expose him because how dare him come and feed one child when he should feed all 4 of them? And he's like, "What you talking about? Like, I only have 1 kid with you. Why do I have to feed all 4 of your kids? How you gonna get 1 kid McDonald's and the other?" I understood the fact that you're gonna get 1 kid McDonald's and then all the other kids gonna be salty because they didn't get to eat McDonald's.
Right.
So he was like, "Well, bring him out then. I'll feed him, kind of on the low, so that way the other 3 won't get jealous." She was like, "Nah, fuck that shit." She grabbed the bottle, saying, "Give me the food." She took the food. She threw the shit on the floor. She threw the drink on the floor.
Oh no. Oh no,
like,
no.
Right. She was like, I get my food stamps on the 7th. So you mean to tell me you ain't got no food until then?
Oh, this is making me sweat. I don't understand why. The levels of pettiness that are happening on so many levels is wild. Because while I understand where my guy is coming from, if I like my ex-husband, like he has other children, if I get something for my daughter, it's for my daughter. But if she chooses now to share with her siblings, then that's for her to do. She's the eldest out of our children. So, but at the same time, I understand. I understand where the guy is coming from. Like, yo, like if you went out there, you got a whole bunch of other unsupported men who are not doing this and not at least give you McDonald's money then for the other children. Then why does one guy kind of have to become the save all for all children? But that again, there's too many ways to flip this, because it's a matter of like adults. Like, we understand the situation. The children shouldn't have to suffer our ignorance and our resentments and our pettiness. It's not a good thing. It's not a good look to show the children.
Yeah, that's why we all need to learn emotional intelligence. We all need to be a little bit better at, considering other people's feelings, looking at it from, on the other side of the table.
Yes, that's all. It's like, okay, well, I understand that I'm not responsible, and it wouldn't be like an all the time thing either. Like, I would sooner than forget having, if that's the case, forget having McDonald's. All right, you get your food stamps on whatever day, cool. Go to the supermarket, go and get some sandwich meat, go get some sandwich rolls. We gonna all go to the park. Everybody gonna run around, play in the park, drink Capri Sun, have your little quarter water juices and some ices, and that's gonna be it. We not even doing the whole, you feel like you're higher in the pecking order because you have the dad that buys you something while all the other children don't have that. Like, there's just a way that you don't got to do that, to at least to make it have an effect on the children. That's all. Don't be messy. I don't know why as adults we got to be messy and in front of the kids. I don't get it.
Yo, people are really dumb.
Yes.
And I feel like they just keep on getting dumber by like the day, by the hour. They're just getting dumber. It's like,
what is happening?
Why? What's going on? What can we do to right this wrong that's going on here?
Right. Fix it. Brown baby Jesus, Buddha, Christian, whoever, please. Somebody come fix it. Somebody come get these adults, because this isn't working. It's not working.
No, it's not. No, it's not, man. Oh,
So wild.
that shit hurts my heart, and
You
it
gotta
makes
send
me
it to
like
me. You gotta send it to me. I
I,
gotta
I'm
see
I'm
this.
I'm gonna get it and I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. Sure. It's just like it hurts my heart because I don't see no reversal. I don't see no one proposing any ideas on how can we make our society just a little bit smarter,
Yes.
just a little bit more rational. I know we crazy, we all crazy, but just a little bit more rational so that way we can coexist. Cause right now, like I'm scared to have a kid. I'll be like, I don't want to have a kid because you're gonna be around y'all kids. I'm not trying to do that.
Right.
What
I could
we
be
what
good.
we right, I could be chilling or have to deal with you and your kid, and then we gonna get in a fight because you got a little fuckhead kid because you raising them like shit.
I don't want to have to choke slam nobody's child.
Right. And that's the problem with the pro-life people. The pro-life people is like, oh, they're right, they're born, but what you forgetting why y'all saying, no, save the babies, is like, no. That's a person. That's not a baby. It's only a baby for a few years.
Couple years, and then that's an adult. That's somebody's musty son or daughter that you will be upset at when they out in these
Right.
streets. Ain't got no damn
That
sense.
we out here judging them later. Oh, it's
Yes.
a baby, so it's cute, it's a baby. And then once they get older, it's like, oh, fuck that guy. Fuck that one guy with his face. Like, nah,
Yes.
we can't be
Yes.
doing that.
We have to think about like the far-reaching effects of our behavior. Like it's cool now, but it will always be. And we act like mental illness is not a thing, and that being raised in certain environments don't mess you up. I said like go in the hood. We know who we was around. We know who was the hitters and the slingers and the dude that was tricking girls. We saw it. We see the shit. And I'm sure that those people came from home where parents thought that they was ready to unleash them on the world too, only for them to grow up and like, what did I do? How did you wind up like this? You when your parents is pissed off at you, how did you wind up this way? And don't let them be abusive because then the conversation is way more violent. But your parents are looking at you like, yo, I ain't raised you this way. What is wrong with you that you're out here in
Right,
the world being this way? But at that point, it's too late. It's an adult. They're making their own choices. They're making their own impact on the world, positively or negatively. So yeah, let's
right,
like take some time and put our attention on like the people who feel like they got some sense, who got some act right, as we say,
right,
and let's
right,
start having some adult conversations about, hey, let's stop worrying about getting Balenciagas that we can't afford and
right,
bottles of liquor that that cost way more than it would if you just went to the freaking store and bought it so that you could stunt
right.
on people. And how about we get together and start having some conversations about like the real issues that we're dealing with, the fact that people our age can barely afford our rent, let alone actually owning property, having a home that we can hand down to children, putting children through college. What the hell are kids learning in school? Who are the teachers? Because teachers are sewn in with predators that are out here messing with little kids. And there's so many other issues that we're like just glazing over because we're talking about like these illusory bullshit ass theories and shit. Like, no, hard facts. We got hard facts we got to deal with out in the street.
Right, we got a lot of shit we need to clean up before we run around and talking shit about each other or be on some bullshit or think, oh, we just gonna bring more people into this world. For what?
Yes, for why? What are they going to do?
The only thing I could think of is, oh, y'all want more money. Y'all want more child support money, or
More
y'all want more
slaves.
tax money.
More
You want more
slaves.
slaves in your system. That's
Yes.
it.
Yes, because they can't support themselves. So now the welfare state gets bigger and bigger. They're more and more involved in our business. They're more and more involved in our issues. They're taking away. They're using that as an excuse to take away this program and that program. They're not doing anything but giving people barely livable wages to struggle, and that angst and fight for resources got us at each other's throats out here. For what?
Yeah, yeah. For what? For some Balenciagas. For cause you keep seeing that dude on Instagram in his yacht. You wish you had a yacht. Now you
Right.
mad.
that got it, and he got it off of 7 days of manifesting shit. Like,
Yeah,
come on, man.
I manifested my whole reality, and you could too.
I'm a
Like,
billionaire overnight. It'll cost you $49.99. And I'll show you how to do the same thing. Like,
right,
sit down, sit
right.
down.
Don't be believing these sociopaths out here, man. They out here to just fucking swindle your dumb ass because you
Yes,
dumb and you thirsty.
yes,
And why are you thirsty? And why are you thirsty? Because the system's set up for you to be thirsty.
yes. Yep. Keep
As
on
soon as
dangling that carrot until you run right into a grave. Yes.
right. So as soon as you get a couple dollars, you want to spend it to show everybody else you got it.
Right. No, and technically you don't got it no more, because once it's out of your hands, it is no longer a hard asset. Our money ain't even hard assets. Again, more shit that we don't even talk about. The fact that we are spending money that's not even real.
Right. Right. Yeah. You valuing things that aren't real more than your actual family members and
Yes.
actual community.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw this meme. I'm gonna put it up after we get off here. That said it said something of like I'm about to put up a bunch of different fruit trees and all types of stuff. About to just put them all over the community. And then somebody said, "Oh, so what? So people could steal them, steal the fruit?" And he was like, "That's your problem right there, because you thinking of stealing the fruit. Like if it's the community tree, then anybody can grab a fruit off the tree. Is no
Right.
fucking
And
problem."
who's stealing? Yeah, like we from, again, where our family is from the Caribbean. My mom used to tell me all the time that being in the islands, the experience of not having it is different, because there's a ocean a couple, like a half a day's walk from you. You could catch something right out the water. You could pick something
Right,
right off a tree.
right,
You could sleep
right,
on a beach if
right,
you had to.
right,
So it's very different than having to pick food out of a gutter or beg outside of a restaurant that they don't throw the
right.
food in the trash. Like, it's weird. I just think that, especially like in our particular culture, there's so much that thrives off of like degrading people, to degrade your quality of life, make you feel bad about yourself, and then we're going to capitalize off that, because you need products to make you feel better about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Same thing in Puerto Rico. There's mad fruit trees everywhere. You can grab a fucking lemon off of a tree, a lime. You can grab canepas, for the people that don't know
Yes,
about canepas.
yes, get us,
Look that
baby. I
up.
love them
Canepas.
shit. They're not little
Fucking
limes, they're ganepas. Okay.
canepas. Look up the canepas. Yeah, all types of shit. You can find that shit. A mango just be falling. The mangoes just fall all the
Yes,
fucking
on the
time.
ground,
Grab
on that boat,
mangoes,
walk
smash
around
that
just
shit over.
chewing the shit up. Yeah, tear mango.
Big nice mangoes just falling off of trees. And over here we don't have not one fruit tree. You can't find not one fruit tree unless you planted it yourself on your property, where
Yes,
you could just pull it off and just be like, let me just eat this apple real quick. And
yes,
apples can grow almost anywhere. And we
yes.
still don't have them anywhere.
See, that's what I'm talking about. And we have the ability to, but the way that we treat the hood, like, can you even grow a proper fruit tree? People got their dog just peeing and pooping and just keeping it moving. Like, what's even gonna grow with the way that the soil is out here? I don't even know.
Well, well, in the cities, yeah, the rats are going crazy too. The rats are extra. Like, you gotta do something about the rats. Give the rats a little hangout to chill at. Like, give them their own little clubhouse. Yeah, I could be rats over here. Yeah, I can chill. Ain't nobody gonna bother you. Like,
Put the
do
cheese and the
something.
peanut butter over there. Let them go over there. We need
Right,
food, damn it. We need food.
right,
Yeah.
right, right. So, UG, it's been a pleasure. I know we're gonna do a
Always.
podcast on your channel. So make
Yes.
sure y'all follow UG Rose channel. Make sure you follow that shit on the YouTubes. Make sure y'all like and subscribe and share this with like three people. Three people, they ain't assholes. Send them this shit.
Yes.
I think this podcast was a very successful one. We did
Yes.
we
I
did
always
our
have
thing.
fun. I always have fun kicking it with you. Thank you so much for having me.
Uh,
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure every fucking time. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, uh, throw a couple dollars in the donations if y'all could. Check out the Godhead. Let me see where the fuck my Godhead shit at right here. Boom. Check out this right here. Check that out. If you got a couple dollars, you want to spend it on the Godhead EP, you can do that on Bandcamp. Link is in the description. If not, go to Spotify, go to Apple, go to fucking YouTube, whatever, wherever you listen to music, and check that shit out. This is the Street Shaman Podcast. I am Shamanic Poe, aka Poe the Rockstar, here with UG Rose, and we out of here, motherfuckers.